Hello and welcome to Kent Standard Lunchtime News. Here are the headlines. UK ministers continue to resist calls for ceasefire in the Middle East, with almost 1,400 people killed in the conflict so far. Political editor Paul Francis spoke today.
I think the use of the Prime Minister, the use of the language that the Prime Minister is using is perhaps indicative of his doubts that he wants to see a complete kind of cessation of hostilities. They're calling it a pause rather than a full kind of cessation of hostilities, and I think that's an indication of his concern about that particular, the way that's achieved in terms of getting some of these hostages out of the area.
A Chatham resident says she has no option but to move out of her home due to rising rent. This comes as rental bills are at a record high, rising at a rate of 5.5%, according to the Office for National Statistics. Letting agents believe pressure on landlords from high mortgage rates and demand from tenants has contributed to pushing up rental costs. Some secondary schools in Kent have raised a cause for concern for parents after increased uniform requirements have led to higher costs. According to Kent Online, the Valley Invicta Academies Trust have received complaints from many parents of pupils about the demands. Energy regulator Ofgem could force customers into a one-off payment to stop them from going bankrupt. Their debt now stands at over £2 billion as soaring wholesale prices meant customers struggled to pay their bills.
Obviously, the idea of increasing everyone's bills by £17 a year just to sort of put that money directly to energy firms that are all making significant amounts of profit is a misguided step. There are better ways to cope with the energy debt mountain that is growing.
A new council initiative to rehome victims of domestic abuse is providing up speed as 3 families become the first to be rehomed. Since it launched in July, almost a dozen local council landlords and housing associations have signed up to offer their support. Students at the University of Kent are celebrating Black History Month by hosting events to promote black businesses. The Black Student Market run by students included food, music and traditional clothing. However, despite these efforts, there is a belief from some lecturers more needs to be done to incorporate black history into the British curriculum. A local community interest company has created a crochet TARDIS displayed in Rochester High Street. This appeared in the build-up to the 60th anniversary of the science fiction show Doctor Who. Gillingham Football Club looked back to secure victories this weekend as they host strugglers Newport County. The Welsh side have lost 4 of their last 5 games and are on the brink of the relegation zone, while the Gills hope to consolidate their playoff at League 2. NHS waiting lists have hit a record high with 7.8 million people on hold for treatment, and doctors warn it could go on for several years. But the fear of a lengthy wait has left one patient in Kent avoiding making a visit to the hospital despite experienced stomach issues for 2 years.
Having the correct advice is something that I should get, but obviously I've been avoiding it just because of the waiting times. If you go to A&E, you're waiting in there for a good 4 to 5 hours. You're literally wasting your whole day just sitting there doing nothing.
You are all up to date with Kent Standard. I have been Naomi Greenaway. Join us at 4 o'clock for our live news roundup. Goodbye for now.